that. Choosing the u value, the du, yes, Isaiah.
Um, is it okay if you just multiplied the u by 3? Yeah.
Okay, so I was about to say there's different ways to do this. Asher, can you put that away, please? So Isaiah, I think the way he did this on the exit card yesterday was he saw that he needed a 6x, so he looked at this part and said 3 du equals 6x dx. So when he translates this, he's going to do the square root of u, and then 6x dx is 3 du. So Asher, Lewis, how does this integrate?
That would be u to the 3 halves times 2/3.
Raise the power, divide by the new power. What happens to that 3?
It would just be 2 now. Okay, cancel out.
It's still there, and it now cancels out. And Isaiah would get 2 plus 2 over, whatever, this. Is it the same answer? So Isaiah, absolutely, that's fine. Most of you did well with the exit card. Those of you who didn't, we need to work on that. But are there questions from the test that you guys, well, yes, there is. Okay. The last questions on the test that said you have some velocity. I don't know. It wasn't this, but whatever. You have some velocity. And say my initial position position is P of T, whatever that is. If my initial position is 7, Lanham, how would I find at, where are you at 4 seconds?
So you need to do the integral of velocity.
The integral of velocity. The number of you that put absolutely no numbers on here would be more than half of you, and that is incorrect. What numbers do I absolutely need to have on here if I want to know your position at time 4 and I gave you your position at time 0?
You need 0 and 4.
So where did you start? At time 0, I knew where I was. At time 4, I want, like, is this going to tell me my position? No. I need what else? Okay.
How does it work?
A lot of you got a right answer and you did so much more work than you needed to do. Like you guys integrated, you calculated C, you plugged it in, and then did stuff. Okay. So this is kind of a really like key thing at calculus here. This is accumulated change. Over the 4 seconds, how much did your position change? I don't know, let's say it was 7. I already picked 7. But whatever. Whatever your accumulated change is, as Carmen said, we would be doing 7 plus whatever came out of that. A lot of you integrated correctly, and you got my position changed negative 5/3 meters or whatever. Some of you did that part right, but you didn't add it to your initial position. Your initial position, you ended up 1 2/3 units behind. So this is where are you? And part A said, where is it moving backwards and justify? Guys, a number line's not enough. How do I find where's the particle or the runner or whatever changes direction? Jackson, how do I do that?
For that, you want to first use whatever the like velocity and set that equal to 0. And then from there, what I like to do is like the number line, where you find the zeros, you put the one number line, and check for the values in between.
Okay.
So I had 0 and 2. 5 was also a 0, but it wasn't in the domain.
Okay, so so not the example that's here, but for the thing that you were asked for, I said from 0 to 4, where do you change direction? You said there was another 0 at 5, and you're not including it because it's off the range that we're looking for.
Yeah.
And this is where the velocity was 0. It was positive here, negative here, and it went back to positive. So where are you moving? Where did you change direction?
At 2 and at 4.
You didn't change direction at 4.
Oh yeah. So I would be at 2.
So this was still negative, and it changes at 5. So the runner or the particle or whatever changes direction. And the number line is not enough for justification. You need to give words. What are the rest of the words? When, what?
Because the sign changes.
Sign of what changes?
Oh, sign of BFT changes from X.
So when velocity stops being positive and starts being negative, you've changed direction. Or when it stops being negative and starts being positive, you've changed direction. The last question on there, Carson, it said find the total distance traveled. That I started at position 7. Is that part of my distance traveled?
No.
No. The number of you that added the initial position, sorry, that doesn't count. If you inherited $1 million, that's not how much more money you've earned. It's just your starting point. So how do I find total distance traveled? Because if I ran around and around and around the track 8 times, my displacement, the integral, would come out to be 0. But I went 2 miles and my Fitbit better damn well clock it. Keon, what do you say?
You have to find the integrals from 0 to 2 and 2 to 4 separately, since it's going in different directions.
So on the problem that you guys had, the velocity went negative at 2. So if I integrate this first piece, and I get, 5/3, and integrating this, I get negative 11/3. If I add them together, that's still the wrong answer. What do I need to do, Will?
Absolute value.
Okay. I either need to subtract this negative, or I need to absolute value that and add it. Whatever distance I traveled backwards, I need to be like, damn it, that counts as distance that I've gone. Make it positive. Some of you wrote the right thing but didn't know how to calculate it. So Friday, please bring a graphing calculator. I will show you calculator tricks. That is what we're going to do on our shortened day, is how do you just do this on the calculator? Those that did lots and lots of arithmetic all over the place, you are allowed to use a calculator. I'll show you how to do this in one button pushing adventure. Okay? So, can you guys put those away? We need to get back to today.
As we're transitioning, see, I understand that you have X and Y together, but I wasn't like, I was just
I
continuing.
did part wrong.
Your last question, right?
Is you got to the end
I
and
got
right.
I get the answer,
It's
but
a
my
habit
word
of
for
what
was
you're
your
not
answer.
doing. Like as we move forward, don't do this next time.
Yes.
I just want to show the step. I
Right.
showed the step. What I just completely not understood like that, even though I know it. Okay.
Don't make them.
Hey, what did she give you?
Yeah. You ever go on TikTok? Have you heard that sound? Go check it out, go check it out, go check it out.
Yeah, I did everything right. And I divided by 2.
So my background is computer security. The
Oh, are you talking about this safety of
I think this
TikTok?
answer was
Miss Pestel, you say your background is a lot of
She did it all.
No,
Don't play with her. She has a resume.
Okay, I have a degree in computer science from Virginia Tech, and I was a Beltway bandit, meaning I was a contractor to those 3-letter agencies. And I was on several contracts to those 3-letter agencies.
Land management?
Yes, right?
That was gonna be a joke, and you say no.
So, the big one was the CIA, which I never got cleared for, but I didn't get denied either. They just didn't like me. I was too liberal. So they said, you know what, how about you just withdraw your application and you go your own way? Like, thank you, I will. Did not get along with them.
There's not enough interesting data about me for TikTok to steal in the first place.
But there is.
Is there though?
But
Like,
they sell it.
strictly by, okay,
That's for like
the
ads and stuff.
covert channel.
I'm
Do
already.
you guys know what this word is, covert channel?
No.
Like
no.
information I can find out about you by just tracking you.
Yeah.
This is how they're catching a lot of priests hanging out around gay bars. They track their cell phone data. Dude, spend a lot of time on Grindr.
I mean, I guess.
And then they get blackmailed. Not kidding. But the covert channel CIA pizza is being delivered to the CIA. Gee, to what department? I worked there. I was never cleared, but I was there. I'm like, lots of activity over there. Gee, Panama's in the news the next day. Guess I know where you guys work. And then, stuff goes on and Gorbachev's under house arrest. Those guys over there are pretty busy. Guess I know where they work. It was an exciting time. Tiananmen Square happened when I was working there. Like,
Really?
That's where those guys are. All those were the same summer.
That's
Dang.
kind of
That's
insane.
Right after Noriega in
1984?
Panama. No, not 1989. And then within 9 months after I left, there was someone that took an AK-47 and shot at all the cars in line to get into the CIA.
Oh my.
That was fun.
And now you
Validation
see Jessica
of-
she says,
White
And-
literally dodged a bullet.
many bullets.
He had that ready.
I don't think it was just a bullet, it was a couple.
It was several. Yeah, anyway. But the more fun job was NASA. But again, like just a contractor. Okay.
Yeah, I should become a contractor.
So, guys, I would like you guys to do these problems. Integrate them. These are to the 5th, to the 3rd, and that's 3x. So try those.
Oh wait, that thing I've been doing yesterday. Was that?
Is it just 3 equal to all?
I don't know if that's weird.
Oh,
No.
but you divide by 4.
Divide by 3, right? So for E, you keep the same.
So just to be official about it, you guys have homework on Delta Math. They are interesting problems.
Wait, so is homework Delta Math or worksheet?
The homework is Delta Math. Josh, you're done? Can you put number 1 up for us?
Can I do one?
Sure. Josh, you're first. He didn't do any U substitution at all.
Why not?
He's built like that.
Is that just part of a box or a divider? Oh. Okay, when it's an indefinite, meaning no numbers on those, you don't need the bar, because the bar means and now evaluate it from here to there. I didn't tell you a here to there. That's why you have the plus C. Okay, he did this without U substitution. Is that okay? In this case, it is. He can, because it was, okay, it was just a number. So what he did was raise the power from 5 to 6, divide by the new power. And then he's like, oh, the derivative of the stuff inside that chain rule thing was just a 4. How about I just divide by the 4? I am okay with you doing that.
See, that's what I was telling you. It's just.
Only if it's a number. If there's X's in it, you cannot do that. Ayala, you want to do another one?
Number 2.
Go for
I
it.
haven't done it on paper yet, but.
Okay, we have faith in you.
Right.
Right. You are being recorded. Now he's whatever. So he's choosing U to be the stuff in the parentheses. Du is 5x. And taking 1/5
Not
out.
that, but like.
Yeah, I got you. And now he's going to integrate
That's
U
not a
to
four,
that's a U. We're on it. And he's changing dx to 1/5 du. Okay.
Pascal,
Yeah.
what are we doing?
Oh.
Like a test.
Really well. Where's the eraser?
I do. Heads up, you guys have a test on chapter 6 and its related topics Wednesday next week.
Or Thursday or Friday, so when exactly?
Tuesday would be a lovely day to take the test then.
How about like
It
Did I
was
do something
gonna
wrong?
be on Tuesday anyway, and I was like, I'll give them an extra day
This feels
just for
different
grins
from
and
what I usually
giggles. Okay, well, let's check.
Is there a plus C?
Is there a plus C?
Always?
Why is there a plus C?
Because
Because it's an indefinite integral. Francis, what makes it indefinite? There's no numbers on the squiggle. Yep. Okay, now let's see. So raise the power divided by the new power, and then what Carmen's telling you to do now is, okay, it's not U anymore, we need to go back
oh,
to
I
the
just didn't
X's.
finish it. That's my bad. Right, but
Good? Jacob, how would we do this last one?
You find you
What's U?
3x,
What's du?
3 dx.
So translate this to me. This is e to the,
U
and instead of dx, I need to replace the dx with,
and did you
so how does e to the u integrate?
it's either the U
It's the easiest one we have, and it's indefinite, meaning there's no numbers on these, so there it is. And to finish it, Liv, he needs to do one last thing. What does he have to do?
Oh, one second.
Go back to the x's. Eric? What?
Oh, that's the U now.
Yes?
Okay.
yeah.
I thought that was.
Do you use substitution for this?
You do not need to, okay. For this, you don't need to do use substitution. You could have seen, I'm just dividing by a constant, I'll let it go. Where use substitution, you need to use it, would be on, does anyone have the worksheet from last night?
I've had problems.
It was, let me
I'm
say
bad
it.
at it.
So,
Like x to the 1/3 times.
Right. I always get to.
So is the pattern you wanted us to notice that
Full of backups.
we need to?
Full of backups.
what about that one?
Yeah, if you think you blank copies of anything.
Yeah, what's the u value in this problem?
1 + 1/x.
Asher Wilkes, what's the derivative of u?
Well, it would be u equals -1 over x squared.
So du is the derivative of that. The one goes away. Isaiah?
Why is it not ln value bars?
Okay, first of all, we're just trying to pick the u value, and it's not always easy to see. The suggestion has been, the thing that's being raised to the power is the u value. So if this is u, the derivative, not integral, derivative of 1 goes away. It's a constant. This one, multiplied by the power is -1, which is why he said that negative, and then lower the power from -1 to -2.
So
Okay?
if you did the integral of it, it would be ln.
Right, but we're not yet. Okay, so 1 over x squared dx is equal to -1 du. So Lanham, translate this.
So you would take, I'm confused why -1? Like why is that the one you took? Oh, right, okay.
So, in my problem, I had 1 over x squared dx. This was a negative, so I'm going to get just exactly what I have here.
So you just plug in, you put -1 on the outside, and then you have u to the third.
And this junk became that -1
Right.
du. Okay, Roisin, integrate this.
-u to the 4th over 4.
Raise the power, divide by the new power. And Asher, do I need the plus c or not? Because it's indefinite. And then I'm about to change the reasons for all this, but now go back to the x values because I couldn't plug any numbers in because I wasn't given any, but there you go. Okay? Happiness and joy. Mhm. Yes,
Can you go over number 11?
number 11. The 2/3 square root of all the nasty stuff.
Yep.
You know what? Okay. Look at all this junk. Flash forward. That 11? Because there were some that I told you guys to drop.
No.
I got the wrong worksheet. Okay, go me. Okay, so 2/3 the integral of this guy. Suggestions? Ananya, how do we start that?
Well, first I took out everything under the square root. So 4 minus 3 is 4.
So everything under the square root you took out, okay?
And then du is equal to -3/4.
This,
Sorry, -3/5 x. And then it would be 5 negative.
so just take on all the junk by dividing and moving it over, okay? Translate it.
And then u into, so -5/3 outside. And then you have 2/3 minus 2/3. And then you take the integral of the square root of u, which would then be the -10/9. The times 2/3 of u to the power 3/2.
Okay, so you guys do this totally crazy. But you might just be reading it off by the way that you have it written on your paper. The first thing I do, translate the big thing, square root of u. And then that 2/3 stays around because it was there in the first place. And then the dx she went through the trouble to solve for dx and said, get rid of dx and put in the du and that negative 5/3. And then she did the multiply. Then she said, the integral of u to the 1/2 is the power, divide by the new power. And nothing really simplifies. And the u value is 4 minus 3/5 x. Sorry? Oh, to the 3/2. I didn't write the power. Yes.
Could you go over number
21. Oh, good choice. What was it? Cosine 6x?
Square root of cosine 6x, sine 6x, outside of the, yeah.
Okay. So, the hint was choose the one that you see the derivative of. However, sine is the derivative of cosine, and cosine is the derivative of sine. Plus or minus, whatever, doesn't matter. Ooh, I have them both there. Iris, do you have any insight on which is the better one to choose as the u value? Probably. Why? Okay. So probably the cosine because it's the one that also has a power on it that's a freaky thing that we got to deal with. Okay, so Indy, what is the derivative of cosine 6x?
Negative 6x. Oh, sorry. Negative 6 sine 6x.
There you go.
dx.
Why is there a 6?
Why is there a 6?
If we did power rule,
Because we did chain rule.
no, chain rule.
It is changing.
I had the right idea.
You did.
I did it on my paper.
Oh, that's kind of freaky.
Okay, so translating this.
Oh, that's
Cosine
smart.
6x is the u, so square root of u, and then all of this junk, as I said yesterday, please don't have a mix and match of x's and u's in the thing at the same time. AP might ding you for that. I've done AP grading for 3 years now. I have graded a total of 5 problems. Thousands of the same problem, but I've only graded 5. So I haven't had to grade one of these.
To the next person.
What?
Definitely give it to the next person.
Oh my
Okay.
god.
So the sine 6x dx gets replaced by this. Sydney, integrate this.
That's u to the 3/2, and then times 2/3.
Okay. Reduce negative 1/9. U is cosine 6x. And to that 3/2 power. I didn't forget it this time. Liv, working any better today? It might be better if you like to sit this way. She's looking at it sideways. Is it better that? I don't know. Now Iris is like, oh no, is it better? Yeah, I'm with her. Okay, back to our regularly scheduled program. Still questions? Anything else on the worksheet? Yeah?
Number 17.
Okay, Will, what is 17 asking us to do?
It's the integral of
Sorry, I
1/3
just gotta hold my head that way.
secant squared of 8x dx.
Carson, how do we do that? Keep checking your phone, I'm calling you every time.
Once. You're all over it.
You're fun.
We would put in u for secant squared theta.
I'm sure about that.
That would suck.
Not
Yeah,
that would
that's
suck.
a lot.
That would suck.
Let's do 8x.
Okay,
Do we have to do u substitution?
No, let's not do 8x.
so let's look at this. Do we even have to do U substitution? If we're like on it with these, no, we don't. Carson, is there some function that I know has a derivative of secant squared? Tangent, yes. So I could make it the u value being 8x. Translating all this, that 1/3, I'm going to drag it out front. Secant squared of u, dx gets replaced by that. So now, Carson, what's the interval of secant squared of stuff? You just said tangent, just tangent. And Natalie sees this as just a constant. She's like, whose derivative is secant squared? Tangent. So she's just doing tangent of stuff, divide by the derivative of stuff, that 8. There was already a 3 down there, and she can do 3 times 8 in her head and do it all at once. Plus C. You do all that, I am fine with you going from here to there without showing me any u substitution. The previous problems, though, where there's sine swapping out with cosine and there's coefficient, oh, no, you best show work. Yes, Isaiah?
No, I just got confused because like there wasn't parentheses, so I was thinking it was secant squared x and then 8x.
Oh.
So,
But it didn't say secant squared x.
yeah.
It said secant squared 8x. They should have had parentheses. Okay. All right. I need to move on with today, which is this.
Oh.
5 minutes left.
Yeah. It's not crazy.
Is it 5?
Can you guys write this problem down? So if I want to integrate this with u substitution, Morgan, what would you choose as the u value?
X squared minus 9.
X squared minus 9. Great idea. Amalia, what is the du?
2x dx.
2x dx. Why is this one any different than the last couple problems we just did? It's definite integral. There's numbers on that thing. Okay. So those of you who have been like skipping over details, you better not. I will nail you to the wall on the test that you have on Wednesday. Do not skip over the details. All right, this denominator, x squared minus 9, I'm going to replace that with u. And x dx, I am going to replace that with 1/2 du. Now here comes the new thing. I need to translate the bounds. This is like saying, here's this equation in miles per hour. What happens between mile marker 0 and 1? I just converted it to kilometers per second. Do the mile markers make any sense when I'm talking kilometers?
No.
Hell no. So I need to say, at mile marker 0, when x is 0, what is the u value? How do I find that? Algebra. Go to the equation that you chose, Morgan chose, for the u value. Plugging in 0, what is the new value? -9. So that is what goes down here. Okay, so Sam, how am I going to do the other part?
We have to find the upper bound.
Yep.
So x equals 2. That's -5.
Okay, yes,
Now we can do it.
I was,
go for it. What is it? Ananya, what were you saying?
never mind, I know.
How do I integrate this? Eric, how does this integrate?
You translate it to u.
These are all u values now. Come on,
You try to do it to the -1.
that's not going to help us at all.
Yeah, but like I can't see it.
1 over u, what is the
It's
integral
just
of
ln, natural log. Oh, like the natural. Absolutely not.
Yeah, okay, I was looking for the words, not just the miming the jail bars. And evaluated from -9 to -5. And the jail bars are important because If I go
So,
to plug these
When
in,
we plug the X's back in for used, we change the bounds.
don't
No.
revert, don't ever go backwards. We did all this work to get miles per hour into kilometers per second, don't revert back
But now we're
to,
gonna take the kilometers.
No, no, no,
put
no.
miles.
okay, well,
Are we not?
we will get the same answer whichever way. If you go back and revert, you've undone a lot of work, spent extra time, and introduced new places to make mistakes. Don't go backwards. Now, -1/2 times natural log absolute value of -5. Can I just drop the absolute values and drop the negative? Are you guys okay with that? Like that's a valid thing to do. Yes,
Why is it -1?
it isn't. Sorry. And now minus natural log of plug in the bottom bounds. Okay, here's the bad news. On multiple choice, this answer is not going to be there. This is not wrong. What's it?
Put in a fraction.
ln. Oh, and then you can move
Then you can move that to the. This 1/2 could come in as a square root, as an exponent. Oh, and holy moly, that is the same as this. In the land of multiple choice, they could have given you any of these. Yes, Eric.
not entirely sure why we don't translate the bounds back.
Why would you? What do you gain by that? By going backwards, you have to go back to changing this into X's and those into X's. You've already done all this work to move forward. Don't go backwards.
Is
Okay,
this the delta
Oh,
Um,
that's what you mean. Okay.
so guys, try the delta math. It is different looking than this. I will make them fewer problems. Yes, Will.
Okay, I understand why.
Oh, this goes up.
Yes.
I'm gonna be away over like